Okay, here we go. Welcome to the 1 Minute Mentor. This is a podcast that is sometimes in studio, is sometimes on the road. Today we are at Zeal in West Auckland. Henderson, are we in Henderson? That's right. And I'm with my awesome friend here and guest today, Ella, but I'm also with students who are strategically off camera so you don't see them. But what I will tell everyone listening and watching, they are all looking at me. Some are lying down, some are laughing at me, some are making sound effects in their heads, but let's focus on the job ahead. I'm here with Ella and we're about to have a podcast. Brother, before we start, can I just please ask you to introduce yourself to our people in the room and also our people watching virtually?
Yeah, cool. What's up, everyone? My name is Ellaphon Tauariki. I go by Ella. The reason why is when you think of the name Ella, you think of a blonde-haired girl with blue eyes, and then I walk into the room. And I just like that as a bit of a story to tell. I haven't met a guy named Ella before, let alone a Māori named Ella before. So it's just something I like to sort of share to people out there. But yeah, ai hono tū Ngāti Whātua, Ngāti Ngāpuhi, Ngāti Hawa, and Ngāti Kuri. And yeah, it's good to be here.
Bro, thank you so much. I guess the first question I want to ask, because we're primarily working together in the youth space. So I want to know what you were like. I mean, the average age in this room is? How old are you?
7.
Which is?
12.
What were you like at 12? Paint a picture for me back in the day when you were 12. What was going through your mind? What were you up to? What were your hobbies?
Yeah, so when I was around 12 years old, I was actually living out in South Auckland, Papatoetoe, and I went to an intermediate called Kedgley. So I actually lived in both areas. I lived out south and I lived out west during this time. But at this particular moment, I was struggling to find who I was as a young person. South Auckland, I was a Māori kid that wasn't surrounded by enough Māori. And it was hard for me to identify as that, as I was surrounded by Tongan, Samoan, Indian. And so, I was just a struggled young kid trying to figure out. I wasn't interested in anything but rugby. At that time, I thought I was going to be the best rugby player in the world. But I was actually absolutely rubbish. I was rubbish. But I think that's what created this competitiveness within me, because I saw how many young kids were amazing at sport. And I was like, man, I want to try to do the same thing. So around the 12-year-old space, this is where I was in Kedgley Intermediate. Then I moved out west to live with my mum. Then I went to Royal Road Primary, which was it's like a primary intermediate space. And I was the grumpiest kid in the game.
Okay.
Every single time a teacher spoke to me, I would just walk away. Every single time a teacher tried to tell me to do something, I would flick them off. So I wasn't the greatest kid, but I also didn't live in the greatest environment. But he aha, it is what it is. I think without those experiences in life, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Bro, thank you so much for sharing that. I mean, normally these podcasts are done just two adults sitting in a room with microphones and lights, but it's so cool that we have youth off camera
100%.
Watching and listening, and I think there's something really powerful for that. Did you kind of have a sense of, I guess, did you were kind of not happy, you referenced it as grumpy, was that just, had you started thinking about, man, I've got to go to high school, and I've got to go, what am I going to do after that? Was that even in your thinking?
Yeah, I think so. I've been to before I hit high school, I went to about 6-7 different schools, and 6-7. I just realized what I just did. But yeah, so I went to quite a few different schools, and I liked the idea of going to new places, meeting new people. I became a bit of a show-off. I don't know if kids know what this word means, but I was quite cocky because of the spaces that I went into. I had to prove myself every single time. And I thought high school was another challenge for me. I was like, cool, I'm going to go there. This is where I started to develop a voice, singing, and I became a little bit good at sports. And so I was like, I'm going to make high school a challenge for me. I'm going to waste everyone. But I didn't make it too far in that world of sports, because I pretty much gave up as soon as I hit high school. But music was where it was for me. So in terms of the challenges, bro, I think every day was a challenge for me. And I think it wasn't just within school, it was with that, the stuff that was going on at home. But I'm a survivor, and I continue to try thrive and try to be a better person every single day. But yeah.
During those tough times, maybe similar to the age that our people are with us right now, if you could look back, who were the people that were the light in your life? Like, I'm assuming when you're grumpy, it's hard to accept that light.
Yeah.
But can you remember instances where people were kind of, maybe they were trying to help, but it wasn't registering to you as that?
Yeah, absolutely. The first people that come to mind is my family, my mum. Even though she was a hard case woman, she was able to, I think her teachings were out the gate. I don't think much kids will be able to handle the way she parented this day and age. But I think what she created was resilience within me, and being able to overcome obstacles, because of the things that she was teaching me without me registering at that moment, helped me become a strong person, and I'm able to sort of let things slide and just overcome situations and try to become the better person.
I think it's interesting what you talk about, the idea of music starting to integrate into your world, this idea of resilience. And a bit later in the podcast, we're going to join those together, because you've had some pretty crazy experiences recently that I really want our students to hear. But could you just talk about the word resilience for a second? If a young person is listening, what would that word mean to them at that time? Because resilience is something that I think us old people say. What's the word for old? Cooked. Us cooked people. We're well done.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
But if you're going to translate the word resilience back and look at all these cringe, I'm seeing a lot of this. Thank you so much for your support. High trust environment. Okay, so if we're going to translate resilience back into something that our Sigma group would understand, how would you try that?
I think the simple way to put it is to never give up. Anything that's hard in your life, anything that sort of doesn't align with who you are as a person, is to never give up in that situation and continue to push yourself past limits. I like to refer to anime quite a bit. Naruto, flipping Luffy, and all that. Their literal ideals is to never give up, and they continue to push no matter the obstacles in front of them. Luffy wants to become the pirate king, but there's people that are way stronger than him, way more knowledgeable than him. He's 19 now. I think he was like 16, 15 when he set out on his journey. And so those are the types of things that sort of inspire me and creating that resilience within myself, because these guys go through that never give up situation every single day.
Yeah. Now, I don't want to go too deep and too hard out, but I do want to acknowledge something. Yesterday during our kōrero as a group, you shared a pretty tough time after school. And I guess it was pre-meeting your to-be wife. And I wondered how comfortable you would be just highlighting a bit of that story for us, because, like I said, I'm not interested in opening up a can of worms we can't close. But I do love the idea of young people being able to use their voice to talk about the hard stuff and the good stuff. Would it be okay to talk about that journey after school, and maybe talk about the tough times that brought you back, again building that resilience? If you can, if it because the problem with having hard things happen is it can be too hard, and we see that all the time. But I want our young people to know that those things are not for nothing. They will power you some way. Is that okay?
Yeah, 100%. So I met my wife actually in high school. We were high school sweethearts. So in 2014 we met in drama class. And then I was actually homeless at in 2015. She wasn't really of knowledge of this moment, and I think this was probably the hardest time of my life in terms of trying to navigate. And but her family took me in, and at this time as a young kid, I thought I was just being a charity case for this whānau, but they never saw me as that. They always saw me as like, we actually like love you, and so as I grew up, finished high school, music was a massive part of my journey, and I was able to navigate through a lot of my struggles because of music. Fast forwarding to the current days, this year I joined The Voice Australia, season 14, and that's where a lot of my life flipped. Not only did this year I joined the Voice Australia, my daughter was born on January 5th, and that was probably this year was probably the highlight of my life. My daughter, who is now 10 months, almost 11, she's almost 1, which is scary for me. I was able to take both my daughter and my wife over to Australia with me to be a part of this journey. My wife has been a rock for me for 11 years, to push and encourage and sacrifice a lot just to ensure that I was able to continue my journey in music. And now that I did that, I did one of the biggest dreams that I could ever do. She had asked me if she could go study, and it's only so right, She looked after me for 11 years for me to then say, yes, my love, I'm able to. I want you to do exactly what you want to do. And so she's going to go study midwifery next year. So and I'm just stoked. I'm stoked. The other little thing I want to throw in there, it's a bit of like a Easter egg. It's actually pretty buzzy to say this out loud, but so her first cousin is live action Moana.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
And we got invited to the premiere next year in July, and that's something. I won't go into crazy detail, but my wife's family is probably the most gifted whānau that I've ever met in my life, and continuing on their journeys has inspired me to do even more.
Fantastic.
And I've had the privilege of watching this whānau grow. I moved in and I met these guys when they were like 6, 7, and now they're full-grown adults doing exactly what they want to do. And it's a continuing. It's honestly probably the most inspiring thing that I've seen in my life. And surround yourself with good people. I think the analogy that I've always used is the waka. If you're in a waka and you have all these people jumping in and they're all rowing in different ways, the waka only just turns around and spins, and you're never going to get to your destination. So if you're able to chuck in the people that actually truly support you, you're able to then go to your destination that you sort of seek. And that's what I've been doing over the years. And one of my wives is probably one of the best navigators I've ever seen. So
it's beautiful.
Yeah. So,
that's awesome. Next level. So I'm looking at our time, and we're doing good, but I am going to prompt our students to start thinking of your question. Okay, think about what Ella's been sharing. And remember, something from the vending machine is up for grabs for that best question, not an energy drink. I had thought about... Oh, and I also want to come back to... I'm not sure if everyone knows what The Voice is, because, The Voice singing. Worldwide, judges and chairs, they turn around. Big moment. Has everyone seen it on TikTok? Can we tell everyone where you got on the show?
Yeah. So I made it to the semi-finals.
Which is like one off the final, right? Think about how many people auditioned. Thousands.
Yeah.
Maybe hundreds of thousands. And the person sitting with you right now got right to the end. And this is not through having anything that you don't have. Just the willingness to not give up. And I guess that's what I wanted to ask you. What's your thoughts on everything? Do you think it's a miracle how life works? Do you truly believe that for everyone in this room there could be something special for them? Because I don't know if students really believe that there is something special for them, but I reckon there is.
Yeah, so I do believe that miracles happen, bro. But I also believe that sitting around waiting for it nothing's gonna happen. You know, I believe you got to go out and actually pursue, you know, what you truly want to, or what you truly desire. And unfortunately in Aotearoa, it's very hard to escape the people that sort of try to bring you down. And that's something that we as a whānau shouldn't be doing, right? Aotearoa is known as a whānau place, everyone's lovey and all that sort of stuff. But one of the biggest downfalls that we have is when someone succeeds in something, is either that person's getting laughed at, that person's getting, he shouldn't even be there, you know, like it should always be embracing that person and their success. So yeah, bro, it's wicked. It's such a wicked space, but I believe that each and every young person can thrive 100% in whatever they decide to do, and I believe in going for it as soon as possible. And yeah, not waiting around, waiting for the moment to come, because it may never come.
Yeah, well, that's why I do podcasting, because this is what I believe. If you can identify what you love, and each student here told me yesterday what their hobby is, and I said to them, tell me what you love, tell me what you think you're good at. Your job then is to meet people who can help you do that.
Yeah.
And so that's again what I say to our students. You know me, you know him. He knows everyone because he's on The Voice. So you now know everyone in the world. He knows Moana. Awesome.
Yeah.
And that is the beautiful thing about life, okay? But it does come back to whatever you want to do. And that's the same for me. And that's the same for us. Okay, I've really enjoyed this, but I can't take up all the microphones. So I'm going to pass the microphone over to our students. Because this is going on YouTube, you do not have to say your name. Just do your question. And then, Ella, if it's okay, you'll just answer their questions. 100%. And then we'll come back and we'll outro and we'll wrap this up and we'll have a break and we'll go to McDonald's. No, we won't. No, we won't. Okay, I'll cut this bit out because I can edit too. Okay, here we go.
Hello.
Hello.
So, if you would be able to go back to your past, which part of story or which part of life would you want to change?
Ooh. Honestly, is my time in high school. I didn't give everything I could. I didn't try. And I believe if I had the mentality that I have now and I was to reverse time and go back to my high school days and complete my time and give everything a go, this is what I tell all my kids, all my youth and all that sort of stuff. I tell them to enjoy every moment in high school, so that when you leave, you have no regrets. And I guess that's the only time. All my past, I actually love my past. You know, all the struggles, all that stuff. Like I said, I wouldn't be who I am today. So, thank you for your question.
Thank you.
If you could go back in time and give yourself one piece of advice, then what would it be?
Never give up, even when times get hard. There was moments 100% where I thought, I actually did X Factor New Zealand when I was 17, and the judge said to me that I was a fine bottle of wine smashed on the ground for no one to enjoy. And from that moment, I wanted to give up. And I wish if I could, I'll go back to that moment and I'll say to that person, I'll say to me, don't give up, bro.
What are you most passionate about?
What am I most passionate about? Ooh, that's a very good question. Oh, there's many things. Music is one of my massive passions. But I think if we were to go outside of that scope, I think a massive passion of mine is seeing youth thrive and succeed. and whatever they want to do. I'm so passionate to the point where I can get frustrated, and I don't mean to, but I just really want to push and get you guys to the next level. Thank you for your question.
Where are you from?
Where am I from? So I believe I was born at Waitakere Hospital. That's what it says on my birth certificate, but my mum said I was born at Green Lane Hospital or something like that. So I'm actually quite confused in that situation, but I was raised in both South Auckland and West Auckland. So I got the best of both worlds.
Where do you live?
Where do I live? That's classified.
If you could, right now, with no expenses, where would you go?
I'm going to Japan. It's the home of anime. And that's exactly where I'm going, and I love Japanese food, so I just want to experience that life. That's actually my dream location, and that's where me and my wife are going to eventually go. And with a crazy amount of money, to then go buy whatever I want. So, kia ora.
Hi, do you think your life turned out how you wanted it to be like?
No, not at all. I thought my life was going to be homeless or either in jail, just because of the way I was raised and I guess the surroundings that I had. Because I have a huge whānau. I got 100 and something first cousins. My dad's got 13 brothers and sisters. My mum's got like 9, 10 of them. So I got a lot of whānau. And a lot of them, not so much gang members, but, we were raised in that life. And so depending on where my life sat, and if I didn't have the support that I had back then, I probably would have been there. So that's a beautiful question. Thank you.
Can I do? Okay. What's the thing you most love in the whole world?
My daughter and my wife. I love them. Like, I can't even explain how much I love them, like, every single time. As much, like, it's almost that moment where, when you can get frustrated or annoyed at somebody, but it doesn't matter, because I love them. I don't have to necessarily like them, but I love them, and they mean the world to me. But yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
My question is, what triggered your interest in music?
What triggered my interest? So, that's a beautiful question. So I was raised in music. So I have, how many siblings do I have? I have 3 older siblings. No, 4. I have 4 older siblings. I have a half brother that I have never met. But we will eventually meet him, I promise. And I have 3 younger siblings. So I was able to be raised in such a musical whānau. My mum was a country singer. And my dad is a bass player. He was a bass player for Billy TK. You just wouldn't know who that is because he's quite an ancient man. But that's what triggered my interest in music. And Michael Jackson, he's my influence. He's the person that made me want to do this. And when I was about 50 kgs lighter and I was skinny and I could like move, I wanted to move like Mike. And so those are the things that sort of triggered my interest in music. Thank you for your question.
Okay, team. So we're going to wrap up this podcast. I'm so proud of everyone here. Those questions were next level. You've done so well. Okay, Ella, thank you, brother, for joining us and creating this space with us and going on that journey. I never thought in my wildest dreams that someone would ask you, where do you live? Yeah. But they did. And we recorded it and we can put it on TikTok. I'm just joking. Not yet. I just want to thank you on behalf of us and say that I'm full, and I hope that we can do more of this stuff. For those watching online, where's the best place they can follow you, to follow your journey? To obviously you can YouTube you, but where would you throw people if maybe young people from other schools who want to check in and see what you do?
So obviously, if you want to check me out on Instagram and TikTok, it's ellaphon.music, ellaphon.music. And that's where I post a lot of my, I guess, if you want to follow that music journey, that's where you'll find me.
Awesome. Okay, clap for us. Yeah. Woo! Well done, team. Well done. And hit stop.